back. So today we are on to these center drive shafts that I picked up. I do have my doubts on these drive shafts because of the spring pressure that the drive shaft has. I have a feeling it's going to put too much pressure on the front diff pinion and the rear diff pinion. So I'm a little concerned about that. The spring pressure is a lot. But hopefully it won't tear its stuff up. And then the other thing I don't like is the play. Now, I know Hot Racing sells these things. I might order a set of Hot Racing and see how they compare to these cheap eBay ones. And they're actually not even that much cheaper. But I don't like, you see that slop? I don't like that slop at all. But I am going to run them. I'm going to give it a shot. These cars have basically sit since the last time I had them out due to the silver hoons that I have on it. I have a couple sets of whites on order and one set of golds. So I want to definitely try the different compounds in the hoons to see if that's going to help me. I'm still getting a little rub. This body took a beating the last time it was out. They've both basically flipped and hit this corner, both of them. So I don't know. They are basically in the testing phases. So once I get them dialed in, I'll probably eventually change these bodies out to get them working properly. I do not want to go to 17 millimeter hexes. I don't want to change anything else when it comes to the electronics. Like I said, these are supposed to be budget speed builds. They're not supposed to break the bank. And for what they are out of the box, they're awesome. So first thing I got to do is get all this tape that I put on the front off. I tape this to protect it and stop air and stuff from getting in it. So I shouldn't have left it this long sitting with this tape on. This Gorilla Tape really does stick. So I'm going to get this stuff off. Hopefully I don't ruin these decals. This will take up all the abuse versus the front of the body hitting stuff and scraping the ground, taking the abuse. So they're exactly the way they were when I ran them last. I'm not sure if I'm going to do both cars with them or if I'm going to do my Outcast. I have an Outcast that's 6S, a 4S Outcast that I converted to 6S well before these things were out. Yeah, see the spring tension on these and losing that center support bearing. I don't know. I mean, it does have a decent amount of spring pressure. Oh, it fell back in. God, they're so hard to get out. Oh, that came off. Did it lose a screw or break that? Looks like it broke the screw for the center support bearing. Or does that just, that's supposed to clip in. Screws on top. Well, that's kind of unique. That came right back out. Yeah, see, these don't have near the flex in the center. No slop left to right. These have some slop left to right and have a lot of wiggle. I wish these were machined a little better, especially when it comes to this end. Now, I don't think the center support bearing goes on this one. Yeah. See, it's way too sloppy. So that bearing's not going to work, and I think I'm going to have to get a hot racing one here to see if it's any better in quality. But we're going to give this thing a shot. See, look at that. That slop. Up, down, left, right. That thing is sloppy. Even though it's metal, that drive shaft is just sloppy in the center. I definitely don't like that. I'm just putting that bearing in there just to stop some of that wiggle. But the wiggle's still there. But if anything happens, that bearing, I think, will just catch it. We will see. I definitely don't like this slop. 100% don't like the slop. So that's the update on this. I wonder if the other one is just as sloppy. Because even these plastic ones don't have the slop. That aluminum one has. Horrible, horrible machining on this. 100%. That vibration is going to translate at high speed. And that's what I don't like about that. So I think I'm going to order a set of hot racing ones. I'm assuming the hot racing one is going to be way better than these cheap ones. Yeah, look at that. Really not happy about that. I'm sure for bashing, these will be okay. But for speed runs, I just don't see it it being any good. But I am going to you know, try running it in the car that I know is proven. And I think hot racing's probably going to be the way to go. Just rolling it back and forth, it's wobbling. And some of these eBay Chinese manufacturers that make some of these products, they don't always make the best stuff. So there we go. Just a little update on that little system. I'm going to go ahead and grab my 6S basher because I'm going to throw the other one in the basher and see if it makes a difference with that one, because that one, when I hit the trigger really hard, it breaks the drive shaft. So these, because they're light trigger pulls, they're not real heavy. I haven't broke a drive shaft yet, and that's why I thought it would be good for speed runs, converting it to 6S. But I'll show you what I did a couple years back with my 6S Outcast that used to be a 4S. We'll be right back. All right, so here's my 4S Outcast. And it's got a couple of issues. One, it's got leaky shock disorder on both rear shocks. Only ran this RC once. Leaky shock disorder. As you see right here, all covered in shock fluid. So it's basically got one shock that's not leaking out of 3. And that's why I ended up going with Proline shocks on this thing. So what I'm going to have to do is pull all 4 shocks off. I'm going to have to use some green slime, reassemble them back together, and top them off with fluid. As you see, 6S ESC, BLX motor in it. And then the center drive shaft doesn't even have the center support. And you see all the slop in this thing? It's kind of got the same slop, and I think that's why people went to the center support bearing on these things. So we're going to pop this one out of here and see if I can get that other drive shaft in here. Just stuck up there. And you can see my front diff. It's got a little bit of fluid on it, but this has also got hot racing aluminum diffs, front and rear. It's all got hot racing stuff in it. So I knew the diffs were going to be an issue, so I went ahead and upgraded those with all hot racing diffs. So the drivetrain in this is really good. I also got the hot racing servo saver bell crank system in this, which works really good. So this RC's got a lot of upgrades for what it is. Now this has got a lot lighter spring in it. And this drive shaft might not even work for this platform, because I think this is the short platform and I have the long platform. So this isn't even going to work in this one. So I'm going to have to order up a short platform drive shaft. For some reason I thought this was the long platform, but makes sense. It's a Outcast, so it does have the short platform, which is the short drive shaft, not the long drive shaft. So you can see how much longer it is. So this isn't even going to work in this platform. This will probably work in the Creighton. And I can't cut it down because I would need to cut this side and then machine this stuff into it. So that sucks. Well, I got a couple more drive shafts to order up. I think I'm going to order Hot Racing for both. If Hot Racing makes the short drive shaft, then I'll do that. But I want to get this one back out there. So, what to do? I mean, I can put the center support bearing into the short drive shaft, but it's literally stripping this thing out. It's opening up the square. I'm going to go ahead and throw this drive shaft back in until I can get one ordered up. I really want to get this one out running, but after I saw the shocks leaking so bad, them being dead, I was like, man, I got to rebuild all the shocks now. So we'll get that done. We'll get this out. Definitely like this Outcast platform. I wish they wouldn't have discontinued it. Hopefully, I heard that they're revising it. Hopefully they can get it out. Get the Outcast better than it was before. Maybe they'll do some stronger parts rather than using the 3S line. Maybe they'll put the 6S stuff in this and still run it on 4S rather than running 3S stuff in it and just putting it on 4S. But definitely love the scale of this. This is a perfect size to bash around the house. There we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching.